Alex had always felt an insatiable curiosity, a hunger for exploring places others might find uninteresting. Nature called to him like an old friend, and technology was his constant companion. So, when he stumbled upon a hidden forest path that seemed to lead nowhere, he couldn't resist. There was something about this place, a pull, as if the trees themselves were beckoning him. He ventured deeper into the woods, the dense foliage wrapping around him, until he finally stumbled upon the entrance. A faint hum resonated from within the rocks, a strange mix of nature and technology intertwining. Alex felt his heart race with excitement. Could this be the discovery he had been searching for? With a mixture of wonder and caution, he stepped inside. The chamber was nothing like he expected. It wasn't a typical ruin. This was something alive. The walls hummed with an eerie yet calming digital buzz, and the air vibrated with an ancient energy. The trees whispered, not just with the wind, but with voices. Alex stood frozen, his eyes wide with amazement as he realized something extraordinary was happening. The mountains groaned as though they were alive, and the rivers, they sang, their melodies laced with the faintest digital notes, almost as if the natural world was speaking in two languages. As Alex slowly walked deeper into the chamber, the reality of what he was witnessing started to sink in. Nature wasn't just alive, it was communicating, blending with technology in ways that defied logic. His heart pounded as he reached out to touch the walls, feeling the pulse of this incredible fusion. A low voice echoed through the chamber, an ancient sound that Alex couldn't quite place. It wasn't human. The air felt thick with a presence, one that had been there for centuries, long before Alex's curious footsteps had disturbed its slumber. His mind raced with questions. But one thing was certain, he wasn't alone. The trees had stories to tell, the mountains had memories, and the rivers, oh, the rivers, they had songs. Alex closed his eyes, letting the sounds wash over him. He could hear the whispers clearer now, telling tales of a world where technology and nature coexisted in perfect harmony. It was mesmerizing, but also overwhelming. What was the meaning of all this? Why had it been hidden away for so long? As the spirits of the land whispered their secrets, Alex's curiosity grew deeper, and he knew that this was just the beginning of something that would change everything. As Alex spent more time in the eco-digital chamber, the once distant whispers became clearer, more defined. It was as if the spirits of nature were growing comfortable with his presence. The wind, the trees, the rivers, each spoke in its own voice, sharing their wisdom with him. They spoke of a time long ago, a time when humans lived in harmony with the earth. Their stories weren't just tales, they were warnings, reminders of a world lost to time. The mountains sighed as if they carried the weight of centuries. The rivers, once pure and free, now murmured about the damage caused by human neglect. Alex listened closely, feeling the immense responsibility of what they were sharing. The voices weren't angry, but they were sorrowful, and through their sorrow, there was a quiet plea: do not forget us. The more Alex listened, the more he understood. These weren't just the voices of the trees and rivers, they were the echoes of an ancient wisdom, a knowledge that had been passed down through generations. The spirits spoke of a time when the earth and technology weren't enemies, but partners. They spoke of a balance, one that had been broken, leaving nature to suffer and technology to spiral into something disconnected from its origins. Alex felt a deep sense of awe and respect for the spirits, but also a deep sadness. How had it come to this? The world had moved so far away from the harmony the spirits spoke of. His mind raced with thoughts of how this imbalance could be fixed, how the line between technology and nature could be redrawn. Could it even be done? The spirits seemed to hint that the answer lay in understanding the truth they were sharing, but Alex was only beginning to grasp it. As the spirits continued to speak, Alex couldn't help but feel the weight of their words. The world was changing, and not in a way that would favor the natural world. Technology had become a force that pushed people away from nature, rather than drawing them closer. The spirits of the rivers spoke of polluted waters, while the trees mourned the loss of ancient forests. Alex could feel the emotions of these spirits: sorrow, fear, and even regret. But underneath it all, there was a flicker of hope. The spirits believed that humans had the power to restore balance, but only if they listened, truly listened, to the earth. The connection between nature and technology was still possible, but it would require a collective effort. As the whispers grew fainter, Alex realized that his journey wasn't just about discovering the eco-digital chamber. It was about uncovering a forgotten truth, one that could change the future. He wasn't sure how yet, but he felt the call to do something about it. As Alex delved deeper into the eco-digital chamber, something peculiar began to happen. At first, it was subtle, a faint electronic hum, mingling with the natural sounds of the forest. But the more he explored, the stronger the sensation became. The voices of the spirits were no longer purely natural. They had a digital quality to them, as though they were being transmitted through some kind of invisible technology. It was almost as if the spirits weren't just talking to him through the wind and the trees anymore. They were reaching out to him through the very fabric of the digital world. The realization hit him hard. The eco-digital chamber wasn't just a place where nature and technology coexisted. It was a place where they converged, where they communicated with each other, and perhaps where they could learn to coexist once again. Alex stood in the center of the chamber, surrounded by the ethereal sounds of nature and the buzzing digital undertones. He couldn't shake the feeling that the chamber itself was alive, that it was trying to tell him something. He watched as the trees swayed, their branches flickering with strange digital lights, almost as though they were being fed information. The river, once a clear, melodic stream, now flowed with an odd hum, its water shimmering with electric pulses. It was a beautiful chaos, this union of nature and technology, but it was also a bit unsettling. Alex felt a deep responsibility welling up inside him. The more he observed, the clearer it became. This was a delicate balance, one that could tip in either direction. If technology continued to invade nature without respect, it would destroy the harmony that the chamber represented. But what if technology could be used to preserve nature? Could he be the bridge between these two worlds? The possibilities seemed endless. With each passing moment, Alex felt a growing sense of purpose. He wasn't just an observer in this mystical place. He was becoming part of the conversation between nature and technology. He could hear the spirits speaking more clearly now, their voices no longer just whispers, but something deeper. It was as if they were guiding him, pushing him toward a greater understanding. The digital hum around him became louder, more defined, and Alex felt himself being pulled toward it, like a moth to a flame. But there was something else, something deeper at play. He realized that the spirits weren't just sharing their wisdom. They were also teaching him how to listen, how to understand the language of both nature and technology. And the more he learned, the more he realized that the chamber wasn't just a space to discover. It was a place where he could begin to reshape the relationship between the world of humans and the world of the earth. The digital echo was calling, and Alex was ready to answer. The more Alex pondered the wisdom he had gathered from the eco-digital chamber, the more he realized he had to share it with the world. It wasn't enough to simply experience it. He had to find a way to communicate the harmony he had discovered between nature and technology. He wasn't sure how, but he knew that a video would be the best way to reach people. The world had gone digital, and in a time when everything was connected, a video could carry his message far and wide. With his camera in hand and determination in his heart, Alex set to work. The chamber, alive with both natural and digital energy, would be his canvas. The murmurs of the trees, the hum of the digital signals, and the flowing rivers, he would capture it all. But the real challenge was not just recording it. It was about blending these two worlds into something that would make others understand. Alex spent hours, maybe days, recording and experimenting. The chamber was a maze of sounds, each corner offering a new layer of both nature and technology. He found that the trees spoke in rhythm, their leaves rustling with digital undertones, while the river's songs had a melodic pulse that felt as if it were sent from a distant digital world. The more Alex recorded, the more he began to see the symbiosis between them. It was beautiful, almost surreal. His goal wasn't just to show the sounds, though. He needed the visuals, too. He needed to capture the shimmering lights in the trees, the way the river seemed to glow with energy, and the way the very air hummed with an invisible current. He worked tirelessly, adjusting angles, lighting, and sound, until he had something he was proud of. It wasn't perfect yet, but it was close. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Alex sat back and watched the footage. It was a work of art. The combination of nature's beauty and technology's pulse had come together in a way that felt alive. There was an energy to it, a quiet force that Alex knew could touch anyone who watched. But it wasn't just about creating something visually stunning. It was about sending a message. Alex's heart raced as he edited the final touches. He could already picture it. People from around the world, watching his video, feeling the same sense of awe and wonder he had felt in the eco-digital chamber. This wasn't just a video. It was a call to action. It was a plea for the world to see what he had seen, that nature and technology didn't have to be enemies. They could coexist. It was time to share the vision he had discovered. The journey to show the world had just begun. Alex uploaded his video, his heart pounding with anticipation. He knew this was the moment that could change everything. The video was simple, yet profound. It showed the delicate balance between nature and technology, how both could exist in harmony, if only people learned to listen. As he hit publish. A wave of nervous excitement washed over him. Would anyone care? Would anyone understand? He watched as the video processed, feeling both vulnerable and hopeful. Within hours, the video was shared across social media, and what Alex had hoped for began to happen. People were watching, commenting, and most importantly, they were feeling. The comments flooded in, each one more heartfelt than the last. People were moved, inspired even. The message was spreading, and Alex could feel the first sparks of change igniting. As the video continued to gain traction, Alex began to see something incredible unfold. Environmental groups started reaching out, using the video as part of their campaigns. They were integrating the message of harmony between nature and technology into their efforts. Tech companies, who once prioritized profit over sustainability, began shifting their focus. They were thinking about how they could innovate while keeping the environment in mind. The digital world wasn't a threat anymore. It was a tool. Alex felt a sense of pride swell in his chest. His discovery had sparked something bigger than he could have ever imagined. It wasn't just about creating a video. It was about creating a movement. The harmony he had discovered in the eco-digital chamber was becoming a reality in the world outside, one view at a time. As the movement continued to grow, Alex's life began to change too. The messages flooded in, not just from environmentalists and tech innovators, but from everyday people. They thanked him for opening their eyes, for showing them that they could make a difference. Alex began to see that the bridge he had built between nature and technology wasn't just about ideas, it was about action. People were now thinking about how they could live in balance with the earth and use technology to protect it. Alex knew there was still much work to do, but for the first time, he felt that the world was finally moving in the right direction. The harmony he had witnessed in the eco-digital chamber was no longer a secret. It was a shared vision, a shared hope. And as he looked back at the world he had helped shape, Alex felt that he had found his true purpose.